Hello students. In the previous EVS2 period, we have seen what is history. We have also seen that for man's convenience, he has divided time into present, past and future. We have seen that all the sciences uses various experiment to test their facts and evidence, which can be performed anywhere, anytime. Thus, these methods of using number of tests to determine the evidence were called scientific method. We also saw that definition of history tells us it is science that tries to understand past event. History also takes help of various sciences. It also applies scientific methods. Hence, it is also considered as science. Further, we have seen that proofs or evidence of history are the objects which are found. So these objects or sources are divided into material source, written source and oral source. Now we are going to go through history and us. Those who have books, take out page number 3 or even PDF on your mobile. We are the inseparable part of the society. Hence, our individual or collective action have consequences. For example, if people of society work together for keeping the society clean, this task taken by them can be completed successfully. But if everyone living in that society is not supportive, it becomes difficult to complete the task to maintain the cleanliness. Similarly, individual or collective actions of human beings have consequences. This result in an environment that make either favorable or unfavorable progress of society. Our day-to-day life activities and behavior get affected. History tries to find out answer to many questions. Questions related to past society, human thinking and behavior, and its consequences. Study of history make it possible for us to study what is and what is not favorable for progress of human society. It also shows the mistake committed and what can we learn from them for better tomorrow. By telling stories of great people, it inspires and motivates us to do something on our behalf for country. We also learn about various give and take of cultures, beliefs, tradition, customs, etc. between civilizations. Everything has its own history. It may be animal world, mankind, mountain, water body, places, etc. Even every science has a history too that tells about the discovery. When was the experiment was first performed? Who did the experiment? How many times it was performed? All is history. The past, the present, and future are linked by continuous chain of events. Now let us take an example. Indian people fought against British government to get independence. This is a historical action. As a result, India became an independent nation on 15th August 1947. So, we can say that independence was the consequence of an action, that is, Indian people's struggle for independence. In this way, the event of today are linked with the past action. When we understand this, we realize that the future depends on past event. This is what we learn from history. Example, man began to make tools from material available in nature. He learned to use fire. Then he invented wheel. The next generation, using their skill and imagination, modified those things. Thus, today's technology has its foundation in the past action, and this is continuous till today and will be continued in future. Thus, today's life is the reflection, or we can say it is motivated by the past action that we called history. Now let us see what is archaeology. We have seen that sources available in history are written, material, and oral. Some of the sources are found during archaeological excavation. So let us see what is archaeology. In many places, we see remains of objects and structures created in ancient times by human society of those times. All of those remain are not always found above the ground. Some get buried under layers of soil that floods or strong winds deposit over them in a course of many years. The remains of human and animal skeletons also get buried in the same way. The science that studies past cultures with the help of ancient remains is called archaeology. The Latin word archaeos means ancient. So we understood that what is archaeology? It is the science that studies past cultures with the help of ancient remain. And what was history? History was it studies tries to understand the past events. Here we tries to understand or study the events with the help of remains which we get during excavation. Archaeologists locate, dig out and study ancient remains. The method of digging the ground in order to bring to light any ancient remain that lie buried there is called archaeological excavation. You might be knowing that the site of Harappan and Mohenjo-daro, these civilization came into light during archaeological excavation. There are many such sources of history which are found during excavation. Such excavation are done very carefully and each layer of soil is dig up and examined scientifically. Now very carefully it has to be done because they are buried under the soil, and during excavation or digging out they may get destroyed. So for that sake the archaeologist or excavation people they have to be very careful so that they won't damage those sources of history. The first step is to identify and make careful record of places where such ancient remains may be found. The next step is to plan where to dig and how to go about the digging. So everything which is underground doesn't belong to specific historical event. So they need to gather information regarding it and arrange it properly to create history. So in this way excavation up to great extent help in writing history as it gives the evidence of the events. Thank you. Students, we have completed this lesson. Now let's revise the points. First, time is divided into past, present, and future. History is a science that tries to understand events of the past. History is regarded as a scientific discipline because it uses scientific methods. Methods of presenting history is different from that of other sciences. It is not possible to conduct experiments to recreate the events of the past. History takes help of other sciences. Sources of history: material source, written source, oral source. Individual or collective actions of human beings have consequences. History tries to find out the way of thinking of past societies, their actions, and the consequences. Study of history make it possible for us to study what is and what is not favorable for progress of society. Future depends on past events. So these are the points, these are the highlights of the lesson. Thank you.